I thought only Americans do this.
缘分是缘分，太可惜呀。
我们都会挑。
对呀。
I was like, how was your trip to the US? And the very first thing he had to say was, the rats on the metro.
哎呀，厉害呀！
I'm Katherine, an American living in China, and I'm currently on a year-long bike tour with my husband, Asajan, who may appear somewhat ethnically ambiguous, but he actually is from China. The farthest west of China, that is. And the sight of us together in these middle-of-nowhere places never fails to confuse and amuse the locals. This grandpa asked if Asajan and I are brothers. We're currently making our way through the North Korean border region towards Changbai Mountain. We've been on the road for about a month now, and this is definitely the most interesting region we've been through yet. Guys, you can literally hear people singing from across the river. We're starting today's bike route in the tiny border city of Tumen, right across the river from North Korea. So many people are here just hyped about North Korea, and on the other side, there's not a single person looking at us. Of all the places to stand at the border and bask in the presence of North Korea, Tumen is one of the more well-known ones. But what about the less-known ones? Now begins our journey into the unknown, following this road along the Yalu River. Oh my gosh, y'all, how sick is this? We are literally biking along the North Korean border, and you can see it clear as day because that river is so small. The area we're traveling through is heavily inhabited by ethnic Koreans who are within the Chinese border. Their traditional style of architecture is quite different from the rest of Northeast China and adds another dimension of beauty to the lush mountainous landscape. Speaking of Korean things, we also paid a visit to this obscure North Korea theme park. It doesn't seem to get a ton of guests because it's kind of located in the middle of nowhere, but it's definitely a cool place to visit if you're passing through. We're doing the second best thing. We're at the North Korea theme park.
你是不是俄罗斯？
美国。
美国啊。
Throughout my journey, people are always asking me where I'm from. And of course, I say the US, but the US is an immigrant country after all. So it makes me wonder, what am I really? I just know I have a great-grandfather from Sweden, but I don't actually know any of my other family history. But today's sponsor, MyHeritage, does know. You don't have to dig through dusty attic boxes to piece together your family history. You can actually access it from any phone or computer. With over 90 million users and 36 billion historical records, there is a treasure trove of information waiting for you to discover. It's super fun and easy to build your family tree, and you might discover some new relatives that you never knew you had. Oh my gosh, look how far back this goes. You can also add new branches to your family tree with the Instant Discoveries function. MyHeritage's photo enhancement technology can also help you repair and colorize old family photos. Seeing this photo in color makes it feel like I'm actually looking at him as opposed to this like abstract random guy in a uniform who's been on my grandma's mantle for decades. Okay, fascinating stuff in here, people. Just found out that I have a relative who was a major in the Revolutionary War. I always knew I had some relatives in the Civil War on the Union side, but even further back, there was someone in the Revolutionary War. That's crazy that some of my family has been in the US for that long. It is my great-great-grandfather's grandfather. Never knew that, never heard my family talk about it, but MyHeritage knows. Aside from researching your family history, you can also take MyHeritage's DNA test to learn even more about your ethnic background. If you're interested, scan the QR code on the screen or click the link below, and don't miss out on the 14-day free trial of the MyHeritage website. Even these ladies performing the traditional Korean ribbon hat dance are not allowed into the mysterious Hermit Kingdom, despite the fact that they are ethnically Korean and they're located just a few hundred meters away across the river.
你们有亲戚在朝鲜那边吗？
有。
有的。
那你们有办法联系吗？
我们这一代开始好像也就好像都联络就没有。他新疆来的。
对，我新疆来的。
有那种美国。
少数民族见少数民族。
对，我是维吾尔族。
我这跳舞男的跳舞不一样，怎么跳？
我们都会跳。
This little park is a fascinating time capsule into what life would have been like around here before the borders were drawn. This house is 150 years old. Before the border was even officially drawn, this is what life was like for these people who are culturally and ethnically the same because they're right next to each other. Tiny hobbit door. Shoe-free house, which I love. We got this retro cupboard over here. We got this woven mat on the floor. The mat is very cooling. This right here is the kitchen. Here's the cooking zone. Interesting observation about the kitchen. You actually stand in a pit to cook the food. Never seen a kitchen like this before anywhere else in China. Everything in here is so tiny. The doorways, the table, just the rooms in general, everything just feels so tiny. Fascinating indeed.
And from there, we continued down the road to the little town of Kaishanha. 你好，你好。Where Tumen was a modern little metropolis with swarms of tourists and a nightlife that could rival any big city, Kaishanha was a sleepy Rust Belt town so small that I could only find one hotel. But that's fine, because it will definitely be a unique aesthetic that not many people have seen. Here it is, the only hotel I could find in this entire place. It even has its own restaurant. The lobby is so full of Chairman Maos. There are more Chairman Mao statues in here than there are like actual living people at this moment. Mao number 1, Mao number 2, Mao number 3. There's another one over here somewhere. Ah yes, Mao number 4. The hotel owner is not the only Chairman Mao superfan around here. We also encountered this very interesting mural, Long Live Chairman Mao. For some reason, the same person also painted this bikini lady. I don't know how she fits into the story, but anyway, let me show you guys our room. Here's our view of North Korea. There's even a bridge, so clearly at some point there was some sort of back and forth happening. And then North Korea was like, actually, you know what? Not interested. And they shut that thing down. Hello. Guys, you can literally hear people singing from across the river. So fascinating. Saying goodbye to the Hermit Kingdom. Get your last glimpses. We're going to Yanji. Despite not being physically located on the border, Yanji is actually much more renowned for being a hotspot of Korean culture in China than any of these random places on the river. It has bustling Korean markets as well as tons of Korean cuisine. So much that many tourists come here specifically for the food. We're not really the foodie type, honestly. We usually just have like Lanzhou noodles everywhere we go, but we're actually gonna try some unique local dishes here other than kimchi pancakes. We are on our way to a restaurant that apparently has North Korean waitstaff. And before you ask, no, they aren't defectors. I was surprised to discover that there are actually government permitted North Korean workers in various restaurants and factories throughout Jilin. The time they can stay in China is limited, but the fact that it's allowed at all is pretty interesting, considering how closed off North Korea is.
Now it's time to go wander around in the market. So we're in the market with the smell of fish all around us. Every single booth has like a gigantic tray of samples. We were just chatting with a lady back there. She's been to South Korea and her parents live on Jeju Island. So even though North Korea has slammed its doors shut on the people of Korean ethnicity living within the Chinese borders, they at least can interact with South Korea.
I love the visually overwhelming aesthetic of this place. Look how many snacks are just stacked here, like a fortress. And this lady's like peeking out the window of the fortress. And then here we have the alcohol fortress. This lady is in the mushroom fortress. Look at this place. We were even given a little gift by a friendly shopkeeper. It looks like a seafood version of those like crackling pigskin things. 谢谢谢谢谢谢。真的是狐狸吗？狐狸呢？ The one famous thing in Yanji, other than the food, is this wall.
Check this out. The market is still going. There's literally a massage zone behind me on the street. There's markets everywhere. People are selling everything under the sun. Stuff for sale. Stuff for sale. More stuff for sale.
I don't usually do a lot of content about cities because I feel like it can get a little bit repetitive, but Yanji definitely had a lot of character.
He still is getting a lot of views out of his limited Korean. Bye bye 怎么说呀? 안녕하.
안녕이야.
안녕하.
안녕이요.
Now it's just about time to leave behind big city life and get back to the countryside. But first, a conversation with a random stranger.
So we just met this random guy on the street who has apparently visited the US. I mean, obviously a lot of Chinese people go to the US, but like, what are the odds you just like meet one on the street, right? So I was like, how did you feel about your US trip? And the very first thing he thought of was the rats on the metro.
他们的地铁啊，比不了中国的地铁。那个地铁站这么长靠着，地铁上躺睡觉，有的是那就属于流浪汉。
Our next destination is the tiny city of Helong, also a hotspot of Korean culture in China, although it's much more obscure. Moments after we were seen off by Yanji's legendary big booty horse statue, we were welcomed into the countryside by this odd assortment of guard dogs who look like they belong in a grandma's apartment.
Meh. Oh my gosh, y'all. Flashback to my childhood memories in my grandma's lawn. They're playing croquet. I did not know people in China play this game. I've never, ever seen anybody playing croquet before, except here.
出门多长时间？
出门已经1个多月了。
1个月多月了。
So croquet seems to be one of those games that's taken on like a million different forms depending on where it is in the world, and I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea how this works, but it's still bringing back the childhood nostalgia. 我在美国玩过这个游戏，你们的玩法不一样。
这也是过门，美国也是这么过门吧？
我在老家玩是有差不多10个门，对。
The way I grew up playing this game was with grass growing past your ankles, molehills everywhere, constantly whacking each other's ball into the bushes. This is the first time I've seen croquet being played in such a refined and civilized way, and this is probably how you're supposed to play it. I've just never seen it because it's actually not that popular in the US either, let alone China.
So as we were leaving the croquet place, the funniest thing ever happened. I didn't get on film, so you're just gonna have to take my word for it. This grandpa asked if Isda and I are brothers. And I'm just like, what? To ask if we're siblings is like one thing. I get it, we are wearing matching outfits today. In all my years in China, despite having maybe some masculine taste in clothing or masculine demeanor or whatever, I've never been mistaken for being a boy. Being mistaken for being Ace John's brother when we look absolutely nothing like each other at all is so funny. 什么玩意儿？
不行，我给你收稍微视频，对不对？
对。不是，我是新疆的。
你是新疆人？我没见过。
你呢？
我是这边人。
Hello。
Hello. We are having dinner in the only restaurant we can find around here. This town is like the quietest town I've ever seen. 你们这边原来有很多朝鲜过来的人？
多啊，
现在没有了。
没有了，一个都没有了。
那铁丝网过不来呀，现在。
原来没有铁丝网。
原来就是铁丝网，意思就是有个界，可以交换东西嘛。
你们跟他们交换什么东西？原来
烟呐、酒啊，什么就是有些吃呀都行。
有些都明太鱼，干的那种明太鱼。
That night, we actually stayed at a village homestay right on the edge of this sleepy little town.
Good morning, everyone. From this cute little village we stayed in last night. Peppers are ripe. Wow, 摘了这么多。Yard corn. 看这个好奇宝宝。
太大了。
All right, y'all, the picky eater is trying something exotic today. Cold noodles. We have been seeing these advertised everywhere. They're apparently super popular around here. I'm just not a big fan and I haven't ordered it, so he hasn't ordered it either. But he keeps asking about it like, what's this cold noodle business? I'm like, if you're interested, just get it. I don't have to like something for you to like it.
Yeah. A little spicy and a little sugar, sweet. I mean, so I don't like sweet, spicy all together.
But still, I'm glad he's trying new things. We are on our way to Helong, the neighboring city. Okay, so apparently Helong is a very tiny city because we're 10 minutes from our hotel and we're literally still in a village. Where is this place? Check it out, the tallest building in this entire place. It's right here.
他们是
谢谢。
学得真好。
你去过朝鲜吗
73年。
？73年。
啊，73年朝鲜是不是朝鲜跟中国差不多呀？那个时候。
差不多。
不是，那时候朝鲜比中国老。
你在那里有亲戚吗？
你们怎么联系呀？
你联系不到啊。
We have a win today. The picky eater approved. So we just finished our lunch and now we're stopping by the Korean grocery store. Gonna try some exotic snacks.
我们差不多骑了800公里。
哎呀，你是男的，他是厉害，有的厉害，好看呐、这么瘦的你，哎呀，厉害呀！
Check this out, y'all. Another great find in a Korean grocery store.
I always thought only Americans do weird stuff like this, you know, American flag bikinis, American flag underwear, American flag this, American flag that, but apparently Korean people do this too. Isijeon actually wanted to buy these for biking shorts, but unfortunately they were not in his size and this was the very last pair left. They were sold out.
那你美国的嫁给他了？
对对。
哦，
缘分嘛。
缘分呢？缘分是缘分，他可惜呀、
什么会？
那个美国那么好，还嫁给你？
新疆也美女挺多的。
啊，美女挺多，也是美国是世界上最好的地方。我说你厉害呀！
他们总说你厉害，不说我厉害。
她也厉害了。来追我的女孩特别多，然后被她到手了。
啊，你长得帅，看美国人，哎，然后他是新疆人，新疆人娶了美国媳妇儿，多厉害呀！看着呢，
新疆的，
啊，
对对对，
新疆的好地方，
对，好地
新
方。
疆羊肉片是大大的好的。
And that is what it's like to be an American and a Uyghur traveling through the middle of nowhere in China. Locals always have something to say, and there are never-ending topics of conversation. In the next vlog, we'll continue our journey through the North Korean border region. We'll experience small-town nightlife, explore one of China's most famous mountains, and even meet a fellow traveler on his very own ridiculously long bike journey. Make sure to subscribe so you can join us on the rest of our journey across North China, and I will see you next time. If you're curious about your family history, don't forget to check out today's sponsor, MyHeritage. With over 36 billion historical records, chances are you can find something interesting to surprise your family with. Click the link below or scan the QR code on the screen to try the 14-day free trial.